It is I, your inevitable boy, Jeffy, here in Stockholm, Sweden. And today I want to talk to you about letting go. So we've all been there. You're in a long-term relationship and then it starts to kind of creep in around the edges. That nagging feeling that maybe something just ain't right. That maybe there's something better out there for you. And this particular romantic entanglement has run its course and it just isn't working out anymore. So at this point, you're at a crossroads. Do you stick in there? Do you try to fix it? Do you try to make it better? Do you try to bring back that old flame, that old spark, or do you walk away? Now, this can be a very, very difficult decision, especially considering the investment that you've already put in. Like maybe you are bona fide in love with this person, right? Maybe you still love them, but you're not in love with them anymore, which is an important distinction. Now, as somebody who's questioning the state of a long-term relationship, I would advise you to try to avoid feeling depressed about it. Again, easier said than done, but remember, everything in life is temporary, even life itself. And as such, relationships do have a natural lifespan. They're gonna come and go, ebb and flow, depending on various factors, both internal and external. So in some instances, you're gonna be excited to see that person get out of your life. You're like, oh, thank God the shackles are off. But other times it's gonna be very painful. Now, with that being said, it's important to know when a relationship has run its course and reached its natural end. So check out these 3 signs that your relationship has surpassed its usefulness. So before we dive in here to these tips, I'd like to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can get this real talk brought to you every single week. So the first tip here is if frustration persists in the relationship. Like, have you ever been in a relationship with somebody where everything that they do frustrates you or bothers you? You might be wondering if it's your fault, like maybe it's my fault, maybe I'm the cause of all these ill feelings. But in reality, it might just be that the relationship's run its course. Now, in a previous video, I talked about some tips for choosing a romantic partner. And one of those tips that I gave was actually to spend a long period of time with them, like go on a long car trip with this person to see if you're compatible. And I actually did this. I drove cross country with an ex-girlfriend of mine. And over the course of the 5 days it took, surprisingly, we really didn't argue much at all. But fast forward to a couple of years later, well, it got to the point literally where everything that she did annoyed me. Like her mannerisms, her turns of phrase, even her, her taste in food, even like the way she breathed. I would just be sitting next to her like, I fucking hate this person. So when somebody's actions begin to frustrate you continually, it usually means that the both of you aren't as aligned as you were before. So if that relationship is meaningful to you, you might want to think about working on that alignment. If it's not, consider going your separate ways, as the Journey song says. So right now, are you like sitting around patiently waiting for this person in your life to, see eye to eye with you again? If that's the case, it might be that you're trying to force a relationship that is meant to dissolve naturally. So the second indicator that it might be time to get out of a relationship is when trust is broken. Now, when you put your utmost trust and confidence in somebody, you pretty much expect that they're gonna hold up their end of the deal. And when they don't, well, you're gonna feel hurt and you're gonna feel like your heart has been broken. And sometimes that's a pretty good sign that it's time to separate from that person. Now, the most obvious instance of trust being broken is gonna be infidelity. However, outside of that, this could be anything, right? Maybe that they're constantly texting or DMing people on social media. Maybe it's a simple failure to follow through on promises that they made. Maybe they went behind your back to do something that they know that you wouldn't approve of, et cetera, et cetera. Now, it's important to note here that this actually goes both ways. Maybe you are the one that has broken someone else's trust. And if you want to keep that relationship going, your decision to apologize and ask for forgiveness, that's going to be a pretty good start. But if that doesn't mend the hurt that you caused, well, that might be a sign that it's time to move on from the relationship. Now, if somebody has broken your trust, basically what it comes down to is you have to decide whether or not you're willing to move forward in order to repair or to at least try to repair that relationship. And with all of these tips, it's very important to remember the idea of the sunk cost fallacy. And this is a misconception that you make rational decisions based on the future value of your investments and experiences, right? But the truth is this: your decisions are invariably going to be tainted by the emotional investments that you've accumulated. And the more that you invest in something, the harder it becomes to abandon it. So ultimately, your peace of mind is the most important factor. If you find that you're unable to restore your peace of mind after trust has been broken, perhaps that relationship is done. So the third and final sign that it might be time to get out of your relationship is if your life paths are diverging. You know, sometimes you meet someone at a specific stage in your life and it feels like you're meant to be. Then one day, your viewpoints and your paths start to change. Maybe one of you wants to pursue a new career. Maybe one of you is sick of living in the same place and you want to make a move. Maybe one of you is going off to university, whatever the case may be. Now, my assistant, this youngster named Bradley, he's a great example of this. He was with a nice girl for many years that he got along with, but he's a very independent person, and she was actually looking for someone, you know, to spend all of her time with. She was thinking about marriage and a life where they would be supporting each other long term. So he had a bit of unease, but the straw that broke the camel's back for him was he wanted to learn game. And it was something that he'd been wanting to do for 10 years, and he just kept stuffing it down because he was dating these different girls, but it was something that kept percolating to the top of his mind. So he would sit there in misery watching these videos while his girlfriend's in the other room. Like literally, he would wait until she went to the bathroom and then pull up a quick RSD video and watch it, and they're like, oh, she's coming back. Oh, she's coming back. Oh, hi, honey, how was the shit? You know, so so he wanted to honor himself before the relationship. That's why he got out. You know, ultimately as well, once you learn these skills, it makes you more present in future relationships. Why? Because you know that you're not settling. And furthermore, you have that confidence that if you were to break up, yeah, you would be sad, but simultaneously you now have the ability to find another partner of equal or higher value in a relatively short time frame going forward. So look, changing paths, it doesn't always mean a separation is imminent, but if both you are very passionate about opposing views, it means that there will be difficulty steering in one unified direction in the relationship. So it might be time to let go. Now, sometimes the person you're with might do something that causes you to see them in a different light. And it's possible that they've changed. But it's also possible that you're only now just seeing their true colors. So look, it's fine to realize that paths are changing for you and somebody that you're in a relationship with, because change is inevitable. It's very possible that the purpose of them coming into your life was to help you discover yourself. And self-discovery is one of the greatest things that you can experience. And if learning more about yourself means letting go of a part of your life that no longer works, you should go for it. Why? You're on this earth to live the best life that you possibly can. And sometimes, just sometimes, that involves choosing appropriate people to live that life with you at your current state of development. So that's it. Just 3 quick tips that I hope will help you recognize when it's time to get out of a relationship. And before I go, I just want to let you know a little bit about my next project. And this is actually something I'm super Saiyan excited about. It's coming out later this year. And what this is, I've designed this to break down to the molecular level all of the component parts of conversational skill and witticism. So I intend for this to be a very comprehensive program that's going to bring together the best exercises from a very wide range of disciplines, from cognitive behavioral therapy to peak athletic performance training to obscure acting methods, etc. And this is going to be a program that can literally help anyone become not only a great conversationalist, but overall a magnetic presence that people are simply drawn to, whether that's in social situations, business situations, or meeting somebody to pursue a romantic relationship with. Now, before I created my online dating program, Execute the Program, which you might be familiar with, before I created that, I took a look around and I wanted to see what other guides were out there, what I was up against, and I was very surprised to learn that there really wasn't anything as in-depth and elaborate as what I had envisioned. All the stuff out there was a lot of like very hokey surface level stuff. And doing the same for this conversational skill training, I was surprised again to see the exact same kind of stuff. So I'm putting something together that's, I believe, is truly unique and that's gonna change the way people learn about social interaction and expression. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, it's coming out later this year. Anywho, this has been your boy, Jeffy, reminding you to get out there and make the miss.
Yeah! Uncle Jeffy! Yeah!
You just sit down. Shut the fuck up. Don't hit your fucking brother. You like it? How does it feel? You like that?
Don't do this, don't do that. Sit down, shut up, blah, blah, blah. The other, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, dumb. You're dumb, your clothes are stupid. You know, all this shit over years. The media, this way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. You're gonna be shamed if you act this way. Now you go into the club and it's like, holy shit, do I look cool? Stay in my little zone, stay in my little box, don't express myself, stay within the strict parameters that I believe are going to protect me from the judgment of the group.